Hello, buddy. My name is Jacob, and welcome back to the Epileptic Gamer Podcast. It's about time we get this done. I finally got everybody in a group call. Well, almost not everybody, but everybody had seen the show to talk about Arcane. Ian, welcome.
Aside from Dylan, but he didn't really.
Except for
Hello,
Dylan.
everyone. Yeah, whatever.
Braden, welcome.
Thank you.
And he may not have seen the show, but he's going to, so we included him. He is currently reading a synopsis of what's going on. Ryan, welcome back.
Howdy, what's going on, guys?
So, first off, we could make a 2-hour episode out of this. We're not going to do that. Let's try not to do a 2-hour episode. So, I want to go around the room first off and ask everybody, first off, Braden, have you seen any of the trailers?
Not yet. I've been trying to keep myself spoiler free.
I respect that. Ian, what about you? I know me and you talk a lot about it, so what do you think of the trailer so far?
I think it's interesting, specifically from the parts of what we've been shown and what they're kind of shying away from. I think the clip they released with Heimerdinger and Echo kind of creeping around. That was a very interesting clip.
It was
That's
a very
been on my
interesting one
mind.
to show.
Yeah.
Dude, Heimerdinger's he's such a tough character, Heimerdinger.
I feel
really? Why is
bad
that?
for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, is that such a sympathetic?
He's he wants the best for everybody, and he gets voted off.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
He's
sucks.
sus.
And I'm gonna, as I say that, starting now, I should have said this at the very beginning. Heavy spoilers for season one of Arcane. If you did not watch Arcane season 1, do not listen to this episode.
Run now.
Go and run now. This is your only warning. I'm not warning anybody else ever again. This is covering episode 1 to episode 9.
I would say if you guys stay along after all the spoilers, don't be surprised you're going to get dragged kicking and screaming.
Yep.
Yeah, don't hate us for getting spoiled. However, I will say this, none of us have watched the season 2 spoilers, and I'm pretty proud of that. But
Yeah, I've not seen that.
yeah, I actually muted Arcane season 2 spoilers on Twitter just so I can get TikTok, whole 9 yards. I made sure I couldn't see anything Arcane related, other than what's off the official page. But to continue on, when we leave off on episode 9, we see Jinx doing what people thought was going to happen in episode 10. Shooting the rocket at the council building, effectively declaring war. And naturally, the second that happened, theories are going to come in. Who is surviving this bombing? What counts? I'm going to go off the bat and say, as much as I wish she does, I don't think Caitlyn's mother survived. What do you, Ian, Ryan, what do you guys think? Braden?
It's an interesting question, who survived. I don't know if she survives or not.
I
I
think
think it would be interesting if a majority of them didn't survive, but we'll see.
what I think is going to happen is I think this is going to be the point where Ambessa, Mel's mother, sees this explosion and realizes, this is my shot. I want to get in on this. I want to get in Piltover's Brian's here, and Mel isn't going to let me in. Well, she just nearly died. I now have an opening to get into the council. And we even see her in kind of I don't want to say council garments, but she's talking to someone saying they need to declare martial law. So she's in the military's head. Somehow. So, do we think Mel died? Because
Brady, what do you think?
I think so. Fortunately.
You think Mel died? Why do you think Mel died? Just because of the way her mother's talking, or?
Yeah, primarily that. Just the way that everybody's talking about it seems to be that they died. So
The only thing that concerns me, and this is like you said, Ian, this is the hard question to answer. That's why I'm going to stray away from it. You look at that, you have to kind of look at it from where the rocket was going to hit. Mel, if you look at it from a standpoint of from where the rocket was going, she's kind of the furthest away from it. You know? It seems like it's going to hit the roof and like the entire thing collapses down, which we kind of see in a trailer. And that's what I think. And I don't think Jinx realizes that she probably didn't even know a council meeting was going on. She probably just kind of shot that as a big fuck you to Piltover. But I do think Jinx has multiple character arcs during this episode. Like during the entire acts. Same thing with Vi, and same thing with Kate. But as for people that survived, we all know Heimerdinger survived because he was nowhere near the blast. He was with the firelights. I think Mel survives because apparently there was a leaked poster out that had her in the art for season 2. I do not know how true that is, though. So don't quote me on that. And Jace, he has to be there. Jace and Victor are probably going to survive.
Yeah, they got to be there.
Yeah,
Right, Brandon?
yeah.
I think it's going to be the who has the most plot armor kind of situation. And unfortunately, Cassandra is the victim of, yeah, she has plot armor, but she's also the unfortunate victim of, we need you to die so we can move the plot forward. So, to get out of that area, let's talk about this whole area between what happens with Vi. What pushed her so far down that edge that she is not only covering the entire color, like this her whole identity is gone, and she is getting drunk every day, pushing her friends away. She has nobody.
Well, I mean, the trauma she went through must definitely help.
With what character?
Vi.
Why?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I guess you're right. I guess you're right on that, Brandon.
And I have this theory. I didn't get to talk to you about. I'm glad I get to talk to you guys about this now. I have a theory that the only people that were not real that was in the thing for the clip, Caitlyn was obviously not real because she punched Caitlyn and it ended up being the guy that got hit. And they got into a fight and everything. However, there's one person that pointed this out on Twitter. I am going to shout them out because I know how to use the name on Detail now. It's called Arcane in Detail. They literally will go down and break down frame by frame every clip. They pointed out, at least one of the users pointed out, that it is the way that Caitlyn had her Enforcer outfit on. So that's when people noticed. I was like, okay, that's when we first realized that she had feelings for her. That's when she needed to care about Caitlyn. So if we're going off that logic of, so Enforcer Caitlyn is the person that Vi cares about the most. Why does she have purple eyes? If Jinx is apparently this hallucination that we think that she's going to be, shouldn't she be powder? What do you guys think? It's a general question for
Brandon? Yeah, Brandon, want to start?
Is Brayden still there?
Hold on. Okay, I'll answer the question as soon as I get back. I'll be right back.
Alright. Ian, go ahead.
Something else I gotta do.
Rephrase the question?
So, I said, when we first see the trailer, the clip,
Yeah.
Vi gets introduced, and She's just knocking everybody out left and right.
Yeah.
We do see Kate, then we eventually see Jinx. Purple eyes, watching her. She even bets on her.
Mm.
So, but then we see Caitlyn. We see the banners. Which the banners I'm not going to talk about because I do not know all the insignias when it comes to League of Legends.
Yeah.
People think it's a mix of Noxus and Kierman, but I don't know how true that is. But from what I'm told, the people that said on Twitter, they think the running theory that's accepted by the community is that the way that Vi loves Caitlyn is when she met her in prison.
Mm.
That's why she's wearing her Enforcer uniform. Now,
Sorry.
oh, go ahead. Yeah, welcome back.
Sorry.
So, I asked you the question, Ian, then I'll bring up the Braden.
Yeah.
Why do you think... So say if Caitlyn is hallucinating that, let's apply the same logic to Jinx. If Jinx was an hallucination, like that people want us to think, wouldn't she be Powder? Because she is romanticizing. Vi loves the past. She doesn't love Jinx.
Well, I think for Vi, like her story arc, I know I've seen things, and I think you've been saying when she's like the pit fighter Vi, that's basically like her at a crossroads, right? She has no one, but she still wants to go back to like, you know, the good old days and stuff. So I think she's seeing Jinx and not as Powder, because she's like, her life is basically just getting warped so much so that she can't even like think of the past, you know? She's in this pit fighter Vi, like she's drinking a lot, she's taking all these meds, she's getting beat up, which obviously like messes with your head.
Yeah.
So maybe it's like gets to like a point where like she can't even like think of who Powder was anymore because she's so like, you know, messed up at this point.
What about you, Braden? Do you want me to ask you the question?
Honestly, no, you told me it, and I have the answer. Honestly, Ian's phrased it in the best. He phrased it way better than I could. I totally agree. Vi is definitely in a crossroads. You know, she's kind of stuck in between her two.
She's has those two worlds that she's stuck in between. I get what you're saying. Like you're saying,
You want to say more though?
Oh, do I want to say more?
No, Brayden.
Oh, I was so confused on what we were going there. Yeah,
No, Brayden. I want Brayden to say more, you know?
yeah, like, Braden, if you want to say more, you can. I think he's throwing you under the bus here. Come on.
Uh-oh.
Hey, man, you can't have the same answer as me. You gotta have something new, you know?
What? Bro, that was such a
I
perfect
think
interpretation.
I'm gonna
I literally don't have to say.
I'm gonna pardon Braden here because he makes a good point. But I'm gonna fight that point
Okay.
because hallucinations don't bet. You can, if you break it frame by frame, it's a blink and you miss it scenario. The other person is wearing, the other person's bets are blue, Vi's are always red.
Mm-hmm.
And in the air,
Yeah.
hooded arm and all, Jinx raises a bet and slip on Vi. Kind of almost, like if let's say this is a scenario where she is trying to get to her. Both their rivers of water anymore. She can't go to Zon because Warwick is, let's say, at this point, unleashed.
Yeah, Zon's just unavailable right now.
Yeah, so let's say she's now exiled from Zon.
Who's that?
And she has to find Vi. Do you think she's betting on her because maybe Vi gets the list of names of who bet on her and won, and she sees Jinx on there?
Yeah, I think so. I think that makes total sense.
And the only reason why I'm asking this is because I can see the starting point of she's trying to get her to look at her. Vi probably does look at her and just sees her and like, screw you. It's another Caitlyn scenario, you know?
Right, yeah.
And then she starts seeing her name more often. And that makes me, partly it kind of makes me wonder, this is where I kind of go into the second part of it. Will she cut her hair? And will she take on Powder one final time? Not for the entire series. But will she take on the Powder name one final time to get to Vi? Like, Ian Braden, what do you guys think?
Yeah, Brango.
Character-wise, I definitely think that she would. I want to hear what Ian thinks, though. Ian, what do you have to say about it?
I think, well, that's hard because I think what they're gonna do, especially with Warwick, I don't know how much of a role Warwick is gonna play, like in the finale. I don't know if like Warwick's just kind of like this intro kind of character, then he dies, or like what. But if they were to do something with Warwick, where like he's kind of like one of the final things, I think
he should
Jinx.
be.
What was that?
Well, the way he's set up, he obviously seems like he'd be like one of the final things.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
we did see in a trailer that Vi is going to be confronting him at some point.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
but we don't know if Jinx will be there as well.
Yeah.
So maybe like together they kill him, which would be like devastating, and then Jinx can't really like reach out to Vi, and so maybe to like kind of get everyone on the same page, she goes back to that Powder
Mentality.
that Powder character. Yeah, just for a little bit.
Now, Ryan, have you read up on enough that you can chime in at all, or are you still like kind of figuring out?
Still figuring stuff out. I just watched the season 2's trailer, and I'm impressed with the production quality. It looks good. I'm definitely after this. I'm definitely gonna go and give it a watch. But like, I don't know enough to like chime in. But like, I'm getting to a point where I can start to chime in, but I can't at this point.
But, like, and I want to bring up. So like, before I bring up the way I think the season's going to play out, and who I think the true villain is,
I think it's.
You think it's Warwick?
I think so.
What about you, Ian?
Like the final villain.
Like the final villain, is it Jinx, Warwick? Who do you think it is?
Okay, I don't understand the trailer because I don't know what's the Arcane. Like there was a scene in the trailer where like all these people were like getting lifted by some light.
So
I was confused by that.
Shout out to the YouTuber Schnee. You can I saw him basically put it best.
Mm-hmm.
He calls it the hex. What's it called? The
What, Hextech?
Yeah, Hextech was the core. Hex core.
Oh yeah.
Hex core gates. They think his theory is that they are going to put the hex core inside of one of the gates. It's going to blow up, and the Arcane finally is just like, "Hey, I'm here."
Okay, that makes sense.
Now,
well, maybe it's whoever's orchestrating that.
Yeah, and I think Heimerdinger, them, or maybe that's Heimerdinger's attempt at destroying it, and that's what we're seeing.
Maybe, yeah.
That is
Could
my
be.
guess.
And that's something I just thought of. Maybe Heimerdinger's like, I gotta destroy this thing, and I gotta get this out of here, so where can I take this? And he thinks, oh, a hex gate makes sense. It's powered on that, and it just backfires.
Mm-hmm.
But, I'm going to tell you what I think the final villain is, and I think it's someone that's been in plain sight since season 1.
Okay.
It's Imbessa Madara. I want you to hear me out here. Wrath must be met with wrath. That's the first thing she's telling everybody. You gotta declare martial law. Martial law means she has full reign over the military. She can do what she wants. In the trailers, we see Noxus in front of Piltover soldiers as of the Supreme. And Bessa now has a grip on Piltover.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine what happens when she starts chirping in Caitlyn's ear saying, "You will get justice for your mother." And they just say, let's say, toss a hypothetical out there. What if Heimerdinger and Echo overhear a little conversation from Ambessa and to one of our advisors saying, everything's on track for us to overthrow the council. Caitlyn's being manipulated perfectly.
Can I just say this one thing? This is like the one thing I have against the show. I think it introduces like the council a little bit like really late into it.
Really?
Yeah, like the whole Yellow Jacket guy, it's kind of irrelevant, but that's just my opinion.
That's fair. I think the councils are meant to be smug.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the council's meant to be scam artists, in a way.
Yeah.
Like, if you look at the deal with Silco that Jace proposed, he literally said, hey, here's a seat at the table, but you need to shut down Shimmer and you gotta turn over your most valuable asset.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's like, he's basically giving up his entire empire just for a seat at the table. Yeah, it's like, no, he's not gonna take that deal. But,
Yeah.
the
I'm
reason
also
why...
kind of iffy on the third act. But yeah.
That's fair. A lot of people don't like the third act, which I'm surprised.
Yeah.
What about it, Brendan?
There's just like there's instances where like characters feel like they just kind of like appear place to place, like they're like teleporting around. It's just kind of
Like
weird.
which character?
How did Jinx drag Caitlyn, Vi, and Silco all to the same place? Like I really don't get it.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, that's a fair point. I think that's a plot hole. Or maybe they had something animated.
Yeah, just had to cut it for time. It
Yeah,
happens.
Yeah, fair enough.
it might be something that's on the cutting room floor. But, yeah, the way I see this happening, I see, like, the very first thing that we all saw was Piltover's Finest. That was the tweet that got sent out, and it was a clip of Enforcer Vi walking out, miserable. She is not happy in the slightest. But Caitlyn says in a very interesting line. There's no context to it, but it was a very interesting line that it still bothers me to this day. It's, we have our own secrets too. So, say Caitlyn finds out. She's being manipulated. She's been manipulated. Martial law is now called off. And naturally, well, guess who's not happy about this? Ambessa.
Yep.
The only reason why I'm saying this is because there's a claim to support this. If you were to go slowly, Ambessa is seen throwing her chain at enforcers.
Oh.
Not so she's like this is not like a damage control type of situation. No, she's fighting actual enforcers. So I think Ambessa gets caught, and she goes on a rampage.
Mm-hmm.
So when that will lead us to the strike team. Caitlyn leads a strike team in the zone to locate Jinx. Remember how we all questioned why doesn't she say kill?
Mm-hmm.
Who knows Zon better than everybody else? Jinx.
True.
She is a symbol down there now. So God bless you, by the way.
Bless you.
So this is my question to you. How would you feel if Act 3 was Piltover and Zon versus Noxus?
I'd be down.
Like, just Piltover and Zon, like, as a unified front for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And even, like Savika says, you have the ability to unify the Undercity. She ain't saying that to Jinx.
Yeah.
Not in that passionate way. She's saying that to somebody else.
Absolutely.
She's probably saying that to Ambessa or somebody like that.
That's what I'm thinking.
But I have a feeling if they get desperate enough, I can see, and this is something that, who knows, like, this is what I wish they would do, and if they do it, I'm happy. I see them getting so desperate that Vi says, we need to get my sister involved. We can't do this without her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to go through a lot of development for that, though.
And that's why I think Jinx and Warwick aren't the villains. I think Warwick is going to be Warwick is going to be a problem. It's going to be a pain in their ass. But he's not going to be the main villain. I think the only way Powder comes back is if Vi legitimately goes to her and says, "You're coming with me one way or another," and it's either by Jinx or by Powder.
Mm-hmm.
You can come conscious as Powder, or I can knock you out as Jinx. That's the way this is going to go. And that's how the sister fight starts. That's the way I would do it.
Yeah, I agree.
And a lot of theories are against that, which it kind of bums me out. At the same time, there is no reason why Vi would be going after her sister. Like, she is, of course, yes.
I mean, I can think of a reason. I'm just not going to say it here.
Why
No,
not?
go ahead.
Hey, go ahead.
Well, no, I don't want to like spoil it for Boynes, especially because it's such like a. Like, I'm not gonna let. I want Boynes to watch the show first, and then I'll talk about it. But I'm not gonna talk about it right now.
Boys, just mute up. Brandon can say it.
Alright. Okay. Okay, Brandon, so go ahead and say it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, no, Boynes is still listening.
Alright. Hey, Boynes, turn your mic back on.
Yeah.
Okay, no, I refuse to say it because I don't want to spoil
Okay.
it at all for anyone.
So,
Okay.
leave the call and join in 2 minutes, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, Brandon, go ahead.
Right, Brandon, go.
It's just us right now.
Do not be scared.
I'm sorry. I've never been on the spot like this in the podcast.
Oh my god, you've been thrown in the spotlight so many times. Okay, so what is your idea here? Like, what do you
What's
think?
your idea?
Like, why would she be going after her?
Well, I mean, like you said, I think it's definitely got to do with the fact that, like, she needs her. She probably might not want to do it, but she probably does eventually need her, and she's going to need her to, like, go through the motions and whatnot. So that's pretty much just whatever you said. My reason, I don't want to say it, like, at all. I still don't.
Go
want
on,
to
say it. We're on a
Well,
podcast talking about Arcane.
Yeah,
I don't know how the community's going to react to it. So
Oh my god, I'm turning the comments off either way on this episode because of the spoilers that got leaked out. So go ahead and say it.
Don't worry about it.
Just say it. I'm gonna have to cut a lot of this out if you don't tell me. Please, just tell me. Alright, we're moving on. But, yeah, I think... also, one of you want to message Boynes. Let him know he can come back in.
Yeah, Brandon, hit him up.
But, yeah, I think it's going to become the enemy of my enemy is my friend. And
Yep.
that's probably why Imagine Dragons is such like that's why he's enemy. If
Right.
you apply that to any character, welcome back, Boynes. Turns out he didn't want to tell us his idea.
He didn't even say it.
I can't know, man.
Yeah,
Wow.
he didn't tell
I mean,
us his idea.
Nope.
Well,
Now I'm pissed.
Me too.
Yeah.
That's
I
it, Brandon.
really wanted to
I'm
hear.
gonna crash out on you. I'm about to crash out.
Yeah, I just think, first off, this is going to be extremely successful. And the way I think this is going to play out is I had 4 acts at first, but I kind of lost that then. But now at 3. I see Jinx's angle going as this. Jinx in Act 1 is a symbol. The Piltover, she's God now. She did what no one else had the balls to do, and she destroyed a Piltover. She took the first shot and declared war. So
Yep.
she's going to be a symbol in Act 1. In Act 2, Warwick comes into play. And she's going to be alone. She's kind of in a... If she's not alone before, she's isolated now. More than she thinks. She doesn't have Vi that she can occasionally find. Echo doesn't give a shit about her. I mean, he does, but like, he gave up on her type of scenario, you know?
Right.
Yeah, like she has no one. Savika is not going to care about her at this point. Soko is gone. And Act 3 is, I legitimately think, I call it Sister Jinx.
Hmm.
And that's where we're going to see Powder. I think Act 3 is the final act where Noxus goes to war against Piltover and Zon. And Vi just eventually says, F it, I'm going to get my sister. I know where she is.
Yeah.
And that's when the Firelight's showing up, and I think it's going to be I think it's like almost an Avengers Assemble type of scenario. What about you guys? What do you think with Jinx this season?
Of what? Like holding a grudge?
Yeah, like what do you think? Like what do you think her storyline will be? Like just in general. Like let's start with Act 1.
Ooh, that's a hard question. I think. Well, I'll tell you what I think is going to happen to her eventually. I don't think she lives. I don't think she's the one who comes out of this alive.
I
If
disagree.
anyone were to die, she might die.
I don't think anyone dies because they already announced that Arcane is lore for League of Legends.
Oh, wait, really?
Yes.
Interesting.
So
Oh,
no
okay,
one
never
can
mind.
die.
Oh.
So
But what
I
I
thought
was
they were
going to say
doing, like,
before this.
Good.
Interrupt.
Good, Ryan.
Yeah.
What I was about to say before Jacob dropped that lore bit on us,
Mhm.
with the way Jinx is being painted in the season 2 trailer I just watched, there was a line that said, "Oh, you could be a beacon for the Undercity.
Mhm.
Everyone sees you as this great hero standing up to authority." And I thought, okay, I've seen this storyline play out so many times in so many other shows. I was going to say that I was feeling like Jinx is going to be a martyr.
Probably, yeah.
And
Like
maybe
she's going to die for intercity war
Yeah, like,
to
I think-
happen.
I do think there might be a sacrifice in play. That's what I'm gonna say.
what I think might happen, I think she could get declared dead.
Ooh, maybe. I
Have
can
her
see that.
slate scrubbed. Yeah.
What I think could happen,
Oh,
and this
that
is
could
just
actually
me
work.
spitballing, is the way she
Mm.
gets into purgatory, and that's why she has the hood now, is she does something that she shouldn't be doing. Almost like maybe she second guesses something. And
Mhm.
the people of Zon don't like that. They attack her, they think she's dead, and ding dong, the witch is dead. Congratulations. Jinx is gone. The old regime
That's
is gone.
copyright, by the way.
Huh?
That's copyright, by the way.
Oh, I know. If I could take it. It's 10 seconds,
Yep.
though. They'll suck it up.
Mhm.
But, the way I see this playing out, I can see Jinx fucking up and her going down the same path as Vi. Where that's how she will meet up with Vi eventually. And maybe episode 6, if we're going to pull the reversal card,
Mhm.
in episode 6, they get separated. In episode 6 of this season, they get reunited.
Ooh, that'd be cool. That'd actually be sick.
Hmm.
A
Maybe
pure
like
parallel.
maybe Act 2 is when they do the Warwick.
Yeah, I see Act 2 being I see Act 2 being Pit Fighter Vi. Maybe even Act
Yeah,
1.
yeah.
Like maybe episode 2. Like
Yeah,
I could see them doing a time jump, and they don't explain what happened with Caitlyn and Vi until they meet up again.
Mhm.
But Brayden, I want to get your opinion on this. If you were to book how like this was going to play out, how would you get Vi from the shitty state that she's in now to make her see reason with Jinx? Like if you were to write that.
Yeah, I would do what you with the parallels was really interesting. Having her reunite with Jinx in the sixth episode, that definitely seems like the best route to go. I do think it's going to end up being a case where, oh yeah, there's a common enemy, and we need to come together and fight this common enemy.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with Brayden. What he was saying, basically, what they could do, literally just Warwick.
Yeah.
It's like,
Like,
yeah,
literally, that's how
Warwick
they
could
bring 'em together.
honestly,
Yeah.
I could see him come bursting into purgatory,
Mm-hmm.
and like say Jinx gets hit, and that's all of a sudden, that's buys the assurance of, shit, that's not a hallucination,
Right.
and that's when she snaps out of it, and the two go to town. They don't kill Warwick, but at least it gets destroyed to the point where he has to retreat. And Vi can't stay there anymore. Only one other place to go. And it's not a fun place for either one of those two to go to.
Mm-hmm.
And that is going to be with Caitlyn. And Caitlyn now is siding with Noxus, which is going to be... And she's also public enemy number 1 with Jinx. So, it's almost kind of that scenario of... I can see if they were to do it, episode 7 is Vi approaching Caitlyn, but she kind of has to say, hey, we got to meet up in private. I need to show you something. And shows that Jinx is alive. And who knows, maybe even Piltover declares Jinx dead. I don't know, someone. But I do see a lot of parallels happening.
Yeah.
Like, maybe, like, I'm not going to spoil it with Ryan, because, Ryan, you said you're going to watch it later.
Yep.
But, I think maybe when it comes to episode 9, at the very ending, it's going to be the bittersweet. When everything else was bitter, like, no one won. Nobody got a chance to say goodbye. Vi did everything wrong. Jinx did everything wrong. Everybody is going to do everything right in this scenario. But because of what happened with Jinx, the way she is, those two can never be together.
And since you said it's based on lore, like, there's still obviously going to be the same characters they are now.
Yeah.
So...
Everything...
it'll probably... Sorry.
Yeah, everything that's happening in Arcane now will be interpreted as lore.
Yeah.
So what I'm curious is, how does Echo play into this? Because we see him in the trailer.
Well, okay, Echo is really weird because in game he has like time travel. He like his abilities in League of Legends is him like time traveling.
Yeah, and
So, I don't know what's gonna happen with him, but
it looks like he has it in the trailers.
yeah, I don't know what's going on there.
It almost makes me wonder if it's like we got a sneak preview of that in episode 7.
Uh-huh.
Where it's like he recognizes what powder is. And
Yep.
to go back to that, I have a theory on why he didn't want to kill Jinx on that episode. He was ready to kill Jinx, but he remembered in the process he's going to lose powder.
Yeah.
And he wasn't ready to lose powder. So that's where I think this whole thing is going to come in front of. How much are you willing to go forward? How far are you willing to go behind? How much are you willing to leave behind? Echo says it himself. And we know for a fact, from the character posters, Echo even sides with Jinx.
Mm-hmm.
He has a monkey symbol on one of his braids. And that's not a spoiler, it's on the promotional poster, so... Yeah, it's not like you can do anything about that. So Echo's going to be one of those wild card scenarios, in my opinion. I see him and Heimerdinger, like, disagreeing with something.
Right.
And, I don't see Heimerdinger being a bigger... I think he's going to have a bigger role, but not as big when it comes to him with Echo.
I hope so.
Now, Brayden, how would you do this with Echo? Like, this is what I want to... I'm asking you this, it's like, because I'm confused on how they would use Echo. Do you think that you're going to use Echo as a peacekeeper type of character?
I think they're going to try to play into the time travel aspect of his character.
Yeah,
seems like the way
definitely.
to go. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely think so. If, like, what you're saying, they're going on lore. Because in game, like, what he does, he has, like, this, like, baton thing. He, like, hits it, and then it, like, slows people down. But then one of his main things is that he leaves, like, this clone trail of himself, like, 10 seconds in the past.
Yeah, they could definitely use like those clones to like try to move the plot along.
Yeah. I think he could be pretty interesting. Probably, like, as a peacekeeper or something. Just trying to be like, yo, Jinx.
Like, calm the hell down.
Advise you.
It's time to calm down.
Yeah. Like Jinx attacks somebody and he stops them with his
Yeah.
It almost, that's actually not a bad idea, Ian. Maybe Jinx is about to go for a kill on someone, and then he realizes you can't do that.
Yep.
He hits the button, and
Good idea, Ian.
he kind of
like in Life is Strange 1 with
You mean one time?
Chloe. Yeah, you read one time.
just to save time. It's almost like he kind of then grabs her wrist, and that's when the reveal of hit like the first time. Everybody could just look at him like, "What the hell just happened?" Like, that would be such a cool reveal, and how even I would go crazy. And this is the final thing that I'm going to ask before we get into everybody's theories. Do we think Warwick is Vander?
Say more.
So,
Like, is he fully, like...
do we think we're
fully
going to
Warwick?
see Vander once again in Season 2? Or is he just Warwick completely? You're done with seeing with Vander.
Probably not. They'll probably do the thing where it's like, oh, maybe he's a little bit, but, like, he's probably just too far gone.
Maybe almost kind of the way of... Oh, Braden, your thing lit up if you wanted to talk on that.
Oh, yeah, sorry,
Yeah,
Brian.
I don't see Vander just being gone for good. I definitely see them bringing him back.
Yeah, maybe.
Almost kind of a way. The way I can see them, if they were to bring it back, I could see Act 2 if Vi and Jinx are teaming up. Vi is pleading to Powder. He's in there. He's alive. We gotta save him. And Jinx being around Singed her entire teenage years, saying, no, this is not it. He's gone. You gotta put him down.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. That's when we get that final shot between her and Warwick. She has to make the choice of, I gotta put him down.
Mm-hmm.
It can't be Jinx. It has to be Vi. And you could even have Vi, that's how she snaps out of her little pit fighter scenario. Her leaving the past behind, finally. And embracing what's going on now. And I think that might be what the whole season's about.
Yeah.
Leaving the past behind, embracing what's going on now. I think maybe Powder does come back, but in an evolution. Maybe an evolution for... Maybe Jinx was her transitional phase back to a new Powder. I'm curious to see how they're going to do it. I hope Powder comes back, because I can see the implications of that being, like, from going Act 2 to Act 3.
Yeah.
Would be a very interesting scenario. Almost kind of like, say, I don't know. What's a good scenario I'm trying to think of? Jinx calls Vi back and attack Warwick. And she yells, Jinx, what are you doing? She goes, no, don't call me Jinx, call me Powder. And then she runs, and you cut the black.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's how you introduce Powder again. I don't know. It's just something that you can think of. Like, that's the way I would do it. Like, I do want to see Powder come back. Because they say it in the trailer, every ending has a new beginning. So, that makes you wonder, are we going to see the reverse of everything? If every ending has a new beginning, what's the ending of Jinx? Where do we go from there?
Legends.
I mean, we see her as Jinx in the League of Legends game, but we don't know how much time has passed exactly.
Yeah.
So it's going to be an interesting type of scenario.
Yep.
Now, I have two theories I want you to guys at least talk about before we sign off, because we just hit 45 minutes.
Okay.
The first theory, we already talked about Noxus being a threat, so that was one of them. But I have two more. Next one is, Caitlyn already knows about Vi. What do you guys think?
Ooh.
I think Caitlyn has kept tabs on Vi the entire time that she's been down there. But she just hasn't either doesn't have the guts to go face her and say, hey, we gotta talk this out. Or she's too angry with her.
I think it's the latter. I think there's like a little fight that happens or something happens where it makes Vi kind of like break off from everyone, go into like her pit fighter era.
Now, do you think she knows she's down there?
Maybe not like specifically,
But
but
she has,
maybe just like talks around town, you know?
Yeah, she has like a general like area of like, hey, this girl is wearing bandages on her arms is in this general area. That she could hear that and it's like, oh, I know where Vi is now. Maybe.
Yeah.
Now, what about you, Braden? Do you think Caitlyn knows about Vi and where she's at?
I mean, I'd have to see some more compelling evidence for it, but that's definitely a possibility.
Like, the only reason why I'm bringing this up is because you see Caitlyn get forgiving. Like, she's a forgiving person.
Yeah.
We know this from the start. In the games, they're partners. So, no one knows how they became partners, but in the games, they're partners. So, the only reason why I bring this up the most is because I feel Caitlyn, probably once she gets caught on to Ambessa, she's going to want to start rallying troops. And the first person that she thinks of is Vi.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So maybe I don't know, she thinks, oh, she's probably back down in Zon. She could toss a couple floaters.
Mm-hmm.
See if she gets hints, and like that leads into you, Ian. Maybe maybe the floaters come back to her and say, we got someone with a rough description of her.
Mm-hmm.
That's the best we got, though.
Maybe, yeah.
Like,
I can see that, 100%.
and that's like, maybe help Braden. Evidence. Maybe that's the best way of going about it. Caitlyn might know, but she might not have the evidence to support their claim. You know, it could come down to that, and maybe Ambessa even pushes her to go find Caitlyn. I mean, go find Vi. It could be a shitload of different things, but we know Ambessa's going to be a big time player. Is she the enemy? I think so. But I think it's going to be a whole different scenario if she's not. But my interesting scenario, and this is the one this is the theory that I'm the most against. Does Jinx fake her death so she can get away from everybody?
Mm-hmm.
I am only against this scenario because in the games, Jinx actively acknowledges her sister as crazy. Like she says, and I'm quoting her here, you think I'm crazy? You should see my sister. And then there's even a little subtitle saying, your sister's chasing after you again. I mean, so there's obvious ties between Vi and Jinx in this game. So how would, like, my thing is, are they going to separate them by having Jinx fake her death? And maybe, but Vi kind of has a sneaking suspicion that it's not truly dead or something like that.
There's probably something they like, or that Jinx that kind of like leaves behind, kind of as like a hey, I'm not dead, but you only she would know it.
Yeah, I think it might be like it could be in a teddy bear, something that's iconic to Vi, but not to anybody else that they couldn't read into it. Wait, Braden, what do you think? Do you think Jinx could have a possibility of faking her death, or do you think that's just a out there theory?
That seems in character for her, so I think that's a possibility. That I'd still, like I said, but pretty much any fan theory to have to see evidence for, though. So I'm not totally sure.
The only reason why I think I brought this up is because we know for a fact that she's going to be in a balloon. We see clips of that, like we see them flying towards something, and we can assume it's Jinx. And we can actually assume in season 2 that Jinx is going to get her balloon red. She said it in season 1. That's not a spoiler.
Yeah.
Ryan, that happens in like the first 10 minutes of the show. So you're not getting spoiled there. But I think the biggest thing around this is if Jinx was to fake her death, she would have to kind of plant a little seed as to, yeah, you think I'm dead, but this one person's going to understand this symbol. And I think it's going to be probably the teddy bear that Vi gave Jinx, or Powder.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like how maybe it's sitting there in the wreckage. Like it's going to be almost too neatly placed, you know?
I can see it. Yeah.
That's how I would do it, and that's how you could maybe introduce Jinx into other series. But, and here's the third theory.
Mm-hmm.
This is just not a theory, a general question. Do we see any other legends than the ones we know in the series? Like Miss Fortune, for example.
Not that I remember.
Yeah, like, do you think we're going to see any new ones?
Oh yeah, probably like for the last episode, because they already said they want to make more episodes.
Yeah,
or a new series.
I would kill for Miss. I say it all the time on the podcast. I'd love for Sarah Fortune Arcane series.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Braden, what do you think? Any other new characters you think?
Not any I really care to see a show about. Not really.
That's fair, and it's one of those things where it's like if they're gonna go branch off the story, it's got to be someone that is like heavily renowned and most known for. Like, if they're gonna make Arcane lore, they're gonna have to retcon a shitload of stuff.
Yeah.
At least with Sarah Fortune, you can, or Miss Fortune, Sarah Fortune, whatever you want to call her. Like, this bitch was so petty she waited 9 years or to become an adult to kill her parents' murderers. That's how petty she was. Like, that's how she's a petty badass that took over Bilgewater.
True.
Like, you don't have to worry about retconning that much stuff. That could be the first act alone. Like, just the writing that would be fun to do. But yeah, it's one of those things where if you were to plant a teaser at any point, like Vi could like say the blimp does crash. Caitlyn could ask, "Hey, where was it going?" You could easily drop the line, "It was going to Bilgewater."
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, hey, there we go. We know where she's at, and that leaves it at that. It's kind of that scenario, but that was just me being. I think if they were gonna introduce anybody else that was new, we would have seen it.
Yeah,
like we would have seen.
I think we're hitting it. I hate to cut this off, but I think we're hitting an hour. It might be time to wrap it up soon.
We are 54 minutes.
You gotta go, Bird.
No, I could say I just saying this episode might be too long for some people.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, I got you.
I was just about to say this. So, November 9th, then I think the 16th and the 23rd, that's the release dates. So, that's the dates that you want to mark on your calendar if you're going to watch it. Quick heads up for those that are going to do the watch party. I think most of them are in here. And Dylan, who is not here at the moment, unfortunately. Mm-hmm. We're all going to get into a Discord call, watch it together, and then record a podcast episode based on our thoughts on that. It'll be shot up on the Buzzsprout or in YouTube, everywhere else that you can find it, and you can get our thoughts afterwards. Until then, everybody, last thoughts. What do you think? Any surprises? Any final theories? What do you think?
Ooh, let me think. I don't think. I'll switch to that. Oh yeah, I don't think it'll end how people think it'll end. I don't know how they'll end it. I just can't imagine. I can't like think of how this season's gonna go, because they've been very, like I said, they've been very selective
About the show.
of what actual is gonna happen. But I think, I don't know. I'm excited. I'm excited to see it.
Okay, Brayden, what about you? Theories, final thoughts? What do you think?
Well, like I said, I've been avoiding those season 2 spoilers, so I don't really have any idea of how it's going to go, and I kind of want to keep it that way.
That's fair.
I
Yeah.
want to be surprised by everything, yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. And Ryan, I know you watched at least the season 2 trailer from what you told us. You weren't that much into the episode, so you can send us home. If from what you saw in the season 2 trailer, what is your theory, if you have any? If Ryan's here, it is. Okay, Ryan is not here. All right, I take that back. Ryan does not have any final thoughts because he is not here. All right, so that is it for this episode of the Open Up the Gamer podcast. My name is Jacob. Ian, say goodbye.
Bye, guys.
Braden, say goodbye.
Goodbye.
And we will see you all in the next episode. Hopefully. Also, I'm happy to announce that this is the final Arcane episode
But
for September. We have 2 final ones coming up in October that are scheduled for at least to be released.
Mhm.
And like I think the first one will probably be early in the month, and the last one will probably be later in the month, and that'll be the final one before the show comes out.
yeah,
Because I don't want us to get fucking ducks.
Boynes, why are you quacking?
Okay.
W. Boynes.
Well, at least we know Boynes is still alive. But yeah, that's just the way we have it. We have 3 Arcane episodes, including this one coming out, and 2 in October. So. Alright. So that is it, everybody. Thank you guys for joining me. And my friends here, I know Ryan couldn't talk as much. Are you done?
Dumb Boynes.
Can I sign us off?
Not
All right.
possible.
I'm talking through this. All right, we're speeding through it. Look, okay. Thank you all for joining me. Thank you for Ian and Brandon for joining me. Ryan for just spectating and sitting there looking pretty. And I'll see you on the next episode. Bye bye. Damn it! I'll see you on the next episode. Bye bye.